Thank you for visiting Past the Wire TV, the YouTube channel of PastTheWire.com.
Computing outside, Classic Empire, head-to-head, down to the line. Cloud Computing wins the Preakness.
Reach the starting gate, it's post time. Cold front, Pedro comes forward. And they're into the stretch, cold front, put to the 10. Cold front does it again. Right in the field of the Amsterdam.
Buongiorno everybody, Saratoga Today with Past the Wire, day 31 of the meet, Travers week. It's Thursday, 2 more days till the big Travers Day card. We got a nice card of racing, very competitive racing, I should say, today. Our friends at Zilla Racing Stables have 2 horses in today. They've got Smile Brian in the second, who still has the title of winning the most unbelievable head bob of the meet. Back in for $25,000 in the second race on the grass. Very tough $25,000 race. And they've got another horse later on the card in the 4th race, Miss Liana, who crossed the wire first last time with no jockey. She's going to try to cross this time with Manny Franco staying aboard. We are rooting for our friends at Zilla Racing Stables. Both horses look live, competitive. They always come to run. They are an exciting partnership with opportunities for everybody at every level of the game. Shout out to our friends at Spendthrift Farm, home of Into Mischief and all these other exciting, producing, just unbelievable, phenomenal size and stallions, and to show that they are anything but resting on their laurels. On the Travers card on Saturday, they've got future size Yaupan, Following C, and Jackie's Warrior in on Travers Day card. So they're out there scouting, looking, and keeping that stallion roster strong and powerful for the future at Spendthrift Farm. Have to admire the work and the contributions that they are making to the sport of kings. Last but not least, Amwager, our friends with one of the most innovative ADWs in the game, with a ton of tools for the better. I'm going to start with this. You know, I almost didn't mention it because it's like old news. It's like same old song and dance. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of talking about it. I've been writing about the inconsistency and the problems with the rules that stewards follow for years. People are talking about it now the way I was talking about it 3 or 4 years ago, to be honest with you, maybe even longer than that. And let me tell you, this is nothing new. I was at Saratoga, okay? Saratoga today, they actually took down the wrong horse and admitted it, okay? Talk about being hosed. Allemeuse, Allemeuse. Google it, look it up. They took down the wrong horse. Oops, we're sorry. Listen, I'm going to try and be real concise and brief. And I know I ramble, but what can I tell you? Used to be years ago, all right? A foul was a foul. If you committed a foul, be it out of the gate, be it anywhere in the race, and you impeded another horse, you were pretty much coming down, okay? They would put up the inquiry. They would show the head-on view, and you knew right away. Today, you have no idea, okay? Not only are they inconsistent, but you just don't know, okay? What happened was, in the infinite wisdom of horse racing, they decided, well, we're taking horses down that really didn't affect the outcome of the race. So they added these little nuances. Well, it didn't cost a placing, it didn't this, it didn't that. This is all very subjective nonsense, okay? You can't argue to me that Bayern coming out of the gate, bumping shared belief, didn't cost him a placing. I could prove it to you, okay? We get in the ring, and I hit you in the chest and knock the wind out of your chest, which a 1,000-pound animal can do to another animal, okay? And then the bell rings for the first round. Good luck recovering, okay? It's just, if you understand anything about athletics, about racing, race riding, about competition, you know that it's very tough to determine whether or not a horse was cost a placing. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not, but it's always subjective, okay? This category A, category B, category C, Chinese restaurant, column A, column B nonsense is not for me, okay? I like the old school method, all right? And it worked. If you foul, you come down, okay? It doesn't matter if it cost a horse a placing or not. Now, if you get your arms around that, you have to understand that I think is the lesser of the two evils. Is it perfect? No. I'm more for the way they do it in other jurisdictions where they penalize the rider, they penalize the connection to the horse, but they don't affect the mutual payouts. That's an even better system because it's really got nothing to do with the bettor who gets hosed, unfortunately, in these situations most of the time. But if we're not going to get there, I say get the subjectivity out of it, okay? We can agree most of the time on whether a foul occurred or not. We could never agree on the inconsistency, and we could never agree across the board on whether it cost a horse a placing or not. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Who stopped riding because they thought the horse was going to come down? This, that. I mean, it's a ridiculous system. It's inconsistent, and it's not working, and it's got a bad taste in many players' mouths. Didn't affect me one iota. And I saw all the arguments on social media and everybody getting all heated up about it and talking about it like it's a new thing. It's not. It's old news. I've been writing about it and pointing it out for years and years and years. There's worse examples than we saw yesterday at Saratoga. And there'll be more really bad ones down the line because it's just not something that they're looking to fix. And who knows? But and I'll tell you this, when you really get into the rules and read them in their entirety, yeah, you can pick little sentences and statements out of the rules and say, well, you have to cost the horse a placing here or this or that, whatever you want to. But bottom line is the stewards have the discretion to disqualify any horse for taking the path or impeding or bumping another horse if they so choose. They sometimes like to hang their hat on, well, we don't think it cost a placing, or we don't think it cost a better position, or we don't think that, or we don't think this, or whatever. It's all nonsense, gibberish, semantic talk. Do the right thing, police the sport, do your jobs, and if you can't get to the point where, okay, we're going to find a rider, we're going to give days to the rider, we're going to which they do sometimes, but I'm talking across the board. But we're not going to affect the mutual payoffs or the order of finish. That's great. That's perfect for the bettor. But if we're not going to get there, then make it like the old way, okay? Foul is a foul. And let me tell you something, okay? They say, well, we allow stuff out of the gate now because you can't control your horses out of the gate. You're allowed to do just about anything for the first step or two. Nonsense. When they used to take you down in New York for gate fouls, all right, 90% of the time, everybody broke straight and went straight. So don't tell me you can't do it because it was done. I saw it. It's just not enforced and or policed anymore. Certainly not properly, because you can get away with almost anything out of the gate. And if you think things like connections, rider, who's mad at who, doesn't come into play, I don't know about that. They're not supposed to. But do they? I don't know. I don't know. I see inconsistency and I see questionable decisions that I think people got to know better than. I one time And this is no joke, okay? I'm not going to say the track because I don't want to, throw shade on anybody. But I was one time at a very major racetrack on a very major day, okay? When there was a lot of traffic, I will say that, all right? Not that that should matter, but last race of the day, boom, I see two stewards walking out of the racetrack, leaving. I thought to beat the traffic. I thought, that's odd. These guys are leaving. There's a race. Maybe there's alternates. I don't know. Okay. But they left. Sure enough, race goes off. Jockey claims foul. Should have claimed foul. Should have been an inquiry. Okay. Thing blinked for about 30 seconds. No change. I was like, how could there be a change? Those guys left. Okay. I saw them leave myself. My eyes. I saw them leave the track. So, the stewards in exact science, I say no. All right, let's move to the Saratoga card. That's the same old song and dance. Now, interesting card. I will say this. Horse yesterday, Rise the Guy, Run Big. He run exactly like we thought he would. Exactly like we discussed. I think we did a hell of a dissection and illustrated how reading the racing form, a lot of people dismissed that horse yesterday, but if you read the racing form from the bottom up, the horse was live. From the top down, not as live as from the bottom up. So I think there's something to that. I've been doing it that way for a long time. I don't think you read a book from the back to the front. I think you read it from the front to the back. So same principle. The layout confuses us, makes us want to read it, from the top down, but I think that's a mistake if you really believe in patterns and form cycles and things like that, which I do. I think history repeats and patterns repeat and patterns develop and evolve in the sport of kings. But Horse Run Good just couldn't hold off Chad's horse. Chad had, when we talked about him having a good day early on the card, he kept it going late on the card. And he was just on fire. I think he won 5 races. So congratulations, Chad. He's a friend of the show. We had a really good interview with him a couple of months back. I think it was right before the Preakness, maybe. He's a gentleman, a friend of the show, and we like Chad. We're happy to see him win 5. And he's, making his claim at the trainers race against Mike Maker, who had a very, very big start, but still has bullets to fire. And I think you'll see aggressive placing of horses from both of those guys for the rest of the meet, because I think they both have their sights on the trainers title and are going to give it a hell of a shot. Saez riding lights out. What could we say? And interestingly, today, Saez rides a horse in the 8th race for who else but Chad Brown. And the reason I mentioned that is, Saez is represented by Kieran McLaughlin, who was an excellent trainer, now turned agent, and is doing very, very well as an agent, and has, Saez is one of the top riders in the country, if not the world. But interestingly enough, Luis Saez doesn't ride a lot of horses for Chad Brown. He's rode 1 horse for Chad Brown at Saratoga this year, and he's only ridden 7 horses for Chad in 2020 and 2021, and I think he's won with 1 of them. So he doesn't ride a lot for Chad. So I like to look at these, I don't even want to say stats, because they are stats, but they're different kinds of stats. They're like nuance or idiosyncrasy kind of stats, because I look at it like, well, he doesn't ride a lot for Chad Brown. He rides for just about everybody else, especially in New York. Top rider, gets in the door at Chad's barn. What does he want to do? He wants to win really, really bad. Not that he doesn't always want to win, but I believe in that always have that little extra motivation. You know what I mean? You want to beat the team that didn't draft you. You want to beat the guy that didn't give you a mount or believe in you. You worked all his horses and then he named somebody else. You get in a top barn that, your competitors are winning for. What do you want to do? You want to win for that barn and get a piece of that action. So in the 8th race, Luis Saez rides Union Maiden for Chad, breaking from post 7, going 7/8 of a mile, well drawn outside, in a very, very competitive, tough race. I don't think that horse would be my top choice in that race, but I look at things like that and little, off the beaten path angles like that. So, we'll see what happens. Very, very, very competitive betting card today, in my opinion. Especially the back half, the late pick 5 and the late pick 4 look like they can pay really well if you can zero in and be right. I think that's going to be a challenging sequence to go after. There is a horse who caught my eye early on the card. I'll talk about a little bit, and it's another horse I project to get a very good trip pace wise, and maybe get the jump on some of these horses in the third race. And we talked about with Rise the Guy yesterday, Saez being aggressive, but Joe Sharp's horse Winworthy looks to me getting back on firm turf, like he might be the one that moves at the right time. I see 2 races in this horse's running line. First time out at Fairgrounds, going a mile. The horse made a nice middle move into a slow half mile, 49 and change. Got to the lead weekend, but that was going a mile first time out at the Fairgrounds. That's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And I'm not really a fan of that Fairgrounds meet. I think that the Gulfstream meet and some other meets draw tougher horses. So I don't really upgrade those races too much. And I find myself not really keying or zeroing in on a lot of the fairground horses. But this one caught my eye because I think, he made that early move again at Churchill Downs on June 5th when he was the favorite in a key race. And then he closed over a very yielding turf course at Belmont. Now he moved to Saratoga. The turf is drying out a little bit, getting a little firmer than it's been. I expect at the 1 3/16 distance, at this stretch out distance, for him to be able to make another early move. Maybe not a middle move, but maybe just a move to kind of get the jump on some of the deep closes in a race that really doesn't have a lot of pace. And I think he's a dangerous horse today. So he's a horse I'm going to have my eye on. I think the price will be right. Joe Sharp gets his winners. He's 26% at this meet, 6 for 23, which is not bad at all. So he's firing, and I think this horse is dangerous and is going to get a nice setup and make an early move. And with Luis, you never know. I mean, he's liable to go out there and wing it for the lead. So you just never know. I thought the stake, the Riskaverse, was a very, very competitive race. Probably goes through one of the Chad Brown horses, but Shug's horse, Third Draft, is another one that is getting good at the right time for Shug, just steadily improving. Was a Tracking Trips horse, still is on the list, but won for us already and is a improving horse for Shug. And I like when Shug gets them good and they start developing and improving. They kind of tend to keep doing that and stay good. So I think that horse is live too. The race ultimately, I think, probably goes through Chad. He's got 3 runners in there off the 5-win day yesterday. He beat us with Rise the Guy in the stake, run us down. But we hung tough, only got beat a little bit and fought back a little bit. So, live to fight another day. The last race I thought was interesting. The last race is one of these, open claiming $32,000 sprints and on the grass, 5.5 furlongs. I thought there was a lot of speed. And maybe it wouldn't last, and somebody is going to come late and run past them all. Who's that going to be? I was looking at 3 horses as possibilities. The 4, the Queen's Jewels, who's probably the least of the 3 that I think will do it, and that might be because of the inside post. But I think this horse can rally late. I think the 8, 3 Outlaws under Johnny, can definitely rally late, and I would be torn to call the 8 or maybe the 9 Mystery Messenger off the Vladimir Serin claim my top choice in it. But I would probably throw the speed out in that last race, even though it's dangerous. 5.5 on the turf. If somebody sprints away or gets clear, they put lights out on you and you just can't get them. But I just got a gut feeling that this race is going to come apart very, very late, and somebody's going to come flying. and I would probably use the 4, 8, and 9 in there if I go after this late sequence, which I may or may not do. I may honestly spectate today because it's just a very tough competitive card, and I plan on firing very, very hard on Travers Day. I love the card on Travers Day. A lot of people are knocking it, saying it's not a great card. It is some of the short fields. Listen, short fields don't matter if you're right and you're not afraid to pounce. And I'm not afraid, and I'm willing to gamble that I'm right. So that, you know, I like the card. I'll take the quality horses any day of the week. I love betting on those races. I love taking my big shots on those races. I will say there's a very good shot. We've got a major wager coming up on Saturday, so stay tuned. Tune back tomorrow for more Saratoga Today on Past the Wire TV. I'm not sending the show out as much as I used to. I post it in the morning, so I figure by now, if you want to watch it, you know where to find it. It's on the website. It's on Past the Wire TV on YouTube. So I don't think I've got to send it out that much anymore. I think that those who want to find it know where it is and know how to find it. So check us out in the morning. We'll reconvene then. Today I said, you know, if you're going after it, good luck. I think you're going to get paid if you're right. It's that kind of day. Enjoy the races. I will be doing my homework, and ciao for now till we reconvene in the AM. Nobody does it better.